All right. Well, here, the fuck? Oh my god, I choked. I choked so hard on that dick. Anyways, hello, welcome, my tantalizing, titillating teapots. Yes. Today I'm gonna be doing the artwod sketchbooking course. Honestly, the whole drills thing that I was doing was kind of in. I talked about this in yesterday's video, but we're throwing that shit to the side. Not that I'm not ever gonna practice anything like drills again, but the whole practicing X, like studying a material, I think that is not. I think I'm just going to encompass all of that under general practicing. It'll be sketchbooking, right? So whatever I practice, if the brackets is artwod sketchbooking course, then that's what it will be. So it won't be something like practicing drills from reference, practicing drills from imagination. It'll just be practicing drills, but in brackets for an example, right? That I'm going to change that title. Well, actually, I'm going to keep it as it is. It's going to be a one-off. It's going to be quite a loner, quite a lonesome video series. But this is how you experiment, right? But going forward, if I'm trying to practice, I don't know, the wheel of a tire, right? It will be practicing wheels. The wheel of a tire. What the fuck did I just say? The wheel of a car. The tire of a car. Practicing wheels or tires or whatever the fuck. Brackets artwod sketchbooking course, and then yeah, part 2 and onwards, because part 1 doesn't have a label because I'm unique like that. But basically, in today's sketchbooking course, what is it, the assignment 1 or step 1 or module 1, I think. Yeah, module 1 is just getting familiar with their materials, and the only assignment, I don't know how that happened, I probably shat on it, but the only assignment that Antonio gives is draw simple forms and practice some techniques. I think the techniques he's talking about is rendering techniques, right? Lining things, shading things. He says be loose, have fun, right? And yeah, go off. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna practice simple forms, maybe some contours, maybe even some form wrapping, right? Multiple rounding, anything. We'll see. But the point is, I'm just gonna try to be loose. So let's go. Let's start with the all-encompassing box. Why don't we? And let's do a different angle for once. I'm actually gonna do the I'm gonna draw the thing he did, which is this sketchbook is actually really tiny, which is another thing I don't quite like about it, because I really like the paper, but I don't like how small it is. That's the only thing. Fuck, what did he do? So if this is like, I'm trying to think, cutting outwards, right? I guess so. Yeah, but he drew something like this. He made a interesting looking tower sort of structure. And I guess I want to follow suit. I already kind of fucked up the perspective, but it's okay. This is like the whole thing that he said, which is literally, bro, just let go. Like, look at that. That's diverging. It's fine. I will cry about it in tomorrow's video. I'll be good. Plus, this is a good way to practice this perspective, which I really never do, right? At the end of the day, I just want to live forever, 'cause I know I'll be living in vain. Good old Zayn Malik song, some shit like that, right? You see, and if you make the rest of the perspective consistent enough, it won't even matter if one of them is off, because it's all about, yeah, let's make this one bigger, believability. Now, of course, this isn't going to be the most believable, In fact, I could have made some things a bit better. But it's nice to know that at least in that video, at that point, and fuck it, I could have done it like that. Yeah. I'll do it again. It's nice to know even at that point, I know at least even Antonio was still struggling with brush pen. You know, he is not infallible. Obviously mine doesn't look nearly as good as his does. But yeah, now let's just practice some rendering, right? There you go. And you did some, I guess, shadows like this. This is therapeutic. I can see why a lot of people in the course themselves enjoyed the artwod sketchbooking course. Completely understand, because look how chill I am. Look how fucking chill I am. Look at it! And yeah. I'm probably gonna start introducing at one point some more rendering studies, because I do have the book Rendering in Pen and Ink by artwod, but yeah, see, that's a bit fucky, but it's okay. Yeah, let's just keep going straight. And I know Arthur Guptill, but he's supposed to be like a really good guideline sort of book for rendering in pen and ink. I still don't understand rendering too well, but the biggest thing he says is rendering is all about light and shadow. So I try to keep that in mind. It's literally just apparently all about light and shadow. So if I can, I've realized I do tend to pick up those things relatively intuitively, but actually doing it is a whole other thing, right? See if that's coming up okay on camera. Yeah, it is. And then maybe we can do some, I don't know. Like, this is a huge distinction, right? So maybe there you go. Does that even make sense? Probably not. Probably want to do something like that. I mean, I guess this would all be in darkness, right? And maybe I can just do some casual red brick here. There you go. Trust me, I still don't understand it too much. Like, barely. But apparently it's like what I'm doing right now is just based on the slight mimic. I'm essentially just mimicking what I've seen in examples, right? If I were to try to explain it, it's like I'm sort of implying, right, the brick, that this is a sort of brick shape, I guess you could say. Does it make much sense? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Right? And then maybe I could have lighter shadows here, right? That. Right? So there's still shadow. And maybe this could, if that's brick shape, maybe I can make this like some sort of tiling shape. Right? I don't know. And maybe this can also be some sort of tiling shape. Right, maybe I could do something like actually implying that it's around the form. Right? And I guess there you go. Like a little nub on top. Something like that, I guess. I don't know. I'm just experimenting. So that's one. What's another thing I could do? Maybe I could do some sort of spear. The spear of Selene. And it could be something like this. I mean, if we are just doing primitive forms, I could have fun with that, can I not? Cylinders. Some boxes. What else? How could this be manipulated? Maybe it could go out like this. Like that. So, I don't know. Something like that. Right? I know it's not. It's actually not perfect whatsoever, but. And then we could just go back to another cylinder. And I guess we could also have something like this. There you go. some sort of attachment, I guess. Right? I know it's a bit off, but this is the fun part about art. Some sort of attachment. I don't know what that's supposed to be. But I was just thinking of form wrapping when I did it. I guess I could do something like this. Okay, and where could I go from here? If I do that, but maybe just something like so. Now, what does that mean? Who knows? Who knows? But maybe I'm just trying to add some sort of visual difference, right? And then we could do something like this down here. And I guess just like that, we've created something. We've created something. That's a Thumbel film. Check that out. Anakum Anakum something. Really good movie. There you go. And I guess and how can I maybe connect this? I feel as if this doesn't look too attached. Maybe literally just something like that. And this could have something bigger. Okay, that actually ended up looking like something. And let's, I guess, make two. Ta-da! Something that is undoubtedly. Oh, fuck me, dude! I'm not. Now I'm not even shaking the camera anymore. I'm fucking shaking my entire drawing desk. Cool. That does look like something. That's for sure. Now let's practice some of the rendering things that Antonio mentioned. So we could do, and then maybe. Which way could this go? Maybe this could go this way? I don't know. That doesn't even make sense to me. But he says it's all about showcasing the contour, right? So maybe if I just add a couple more details, like so, and give this some three-dimensionality, boom. But this needs to look like it's actually attached to this, so maybe I could do something like that, right? That kind of doesn't really work, but it is what it is. Okay. And then maybe this could be my... how can I render this? I'm trying to think about how can I render this. How would Antonio do it? The one thing I try to do is just think about how do people I've seen draw do it, right? Could this just be more lines, sort of going along the contour like so? Like that. Well, it's actually, when I actually try to draw lines that small, my vision blurs. Holy shit. Right? That doesn't really make sense to me, and it probably doesn't really make sense to you, but it's okay. Let's see, maybe... Right? And... yeah, I guess. I mean, this will be dark because it's completely in shadow. I'd like to believe. And why is that? Because this is covering it, right? So that's why I think it's in shadow. Okay, let's not overdo it. Let me take a little bit of a space and effect break. Well, you know, rendering is fun. I mean, I don't know what I'm making, that's for sure, but this is also just a good way to keep the perspective and the contour in mind. I have no idea what I made here. Obviously, I have no idea what I made here, but it's really fun. Fuck, this is relaxing. Thank you, Antonio. Hopefully I can fill up this one page on the sketchbook. It's not about being pretty, but funny enough, it ends up looking kind of pretty, I guess, when you just sort of let loose and just go with the flow, just chill, right? Which is the whole goal for the sketchbooking. Is obviously I want to focus. I'm still focusing when I do this. I'm still really trying to use my brain, but there's no goal, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to focus and just put things down and see where it goes, which is a mindset I've always wanted to embody when it comes to sketching, particularly not the studying, but sketching. But obviously, sketching does have the purpose of studying as well. You know, sketches aren't supposed to be pretty, but at the same time, the prettiness comes from within. I didn't know what I was gonna say, which is why I just segued. But like again, maybe if I do, oh, I know. I tend to forget when I draw. My shit's always pretty detail oriented. I guess I've always been a kind of detail oriented type of person. But I know Antonio has a bit of a different philosophy, which also I do agree with as well, which is trying to convey the most amount of information with the least amount of lines. You know, that's actually what Master Kim Jong-il used to do as well, I believe. You know, he'd always focus on, like, he specifically said that he doesn't skimp out on the details, but at the same time, he's also said he's very particular about the details that he puts down. Actually, I think this goes all the way. Did I fuck it up? Maybe, but it's too fun. It's too fun. There you go. Again, I know there's a whole thing about design. I get that. Like, there's a whole thing about, oh, choose where you put your lines down, where you want to lead your eye to. I don't really understand that at all right now. Let's be honest. Like, my current skill level doesn't really. I can't really make things have good design. I can try, but it won't really work. You know. So I'm just doing what I can, and I'm sure I'm fucking things up and I'm making it look worse. But I enjoy this too much right now. And to be honest, that's honestly huge to me, is just the fact that I actually get to enjoy this, because I don't get to enjoy. I mean, I do enjoy studying, but I don't get to just relax while I draw, right? I don't just get to come up with random shit and be like, okay, I came up with random shit. And Antonio's whole thing was just chill, have fun, and just practice the contour lines. So if that's the case, practice the contour lines I shall. See, I know I fucked that up right there, because it should have been over here, the shadows. But maybe this can be saved just by me doing a little bit of this, right? I guess. Cool. This ended up being something. Let's add some, because your boy R&B did mention to have line weight for specific parts, right? From my understanding, this is called a readable silhouette. So you want to emphasize certain parts. You want specific things to be to lead the eye, right? So I guess we really want this here and this here to lead the eye. This is the main thing, right? This obviously comes into that. You know, we want, but the other lines can stay relatively thin. Let's see. Ta-da! Now I'm personally looking more here. And I actually feel like that kind of made it a bit better. I guess, yeah, I guess that made it look relatively interesting. Cool. What else? Organic forms? Yeah, let's draw some random organic forms. Like, now my mission, if I choose to accept it, is to put the contour lines on this. I haven't done this in a while, so I could very well do it wrong, but I think if I just keep going, it should turn into something, right? I think I fucked it up. Well, this is outside of my skill level. Yeah, that doesn't look too organic to me. Let's try again. Let's just make this a bit more generic. I say that as I fucking just naturally add a million more curves. Okay. Go. What's happening here? I mean, I am making it way more complicated than it needs to be. But I am practicing, which is all that matters. I guess I should think out loud. I mean, I have to obviously teach myself, i.e., teach you, the audience. And of course, I'm making it worse as I continue to put these lines down, but I can't help it. Fuck. Okay, so let's do a very simple one. So the contour, and I am going to be doing this later on anyways, right? What do we have? Contour manipulation is literally coming up in a couple of weeks, because I'm going to do this for a couple of weeks. So the contour manipulation exercise states that you want to add some sort of interesting contour to the line. What do we mean by contour? Like, usually this would just be curved, right? Something like that. But the contour manipulation idea is the fact that instead of making a normal curve, make it a bit more pronounced, like that, right? And obviously it gets less and less as you go to the edge, because you also want to account for the other side. So, and you want to account for the perspective as well. So again, like, I'm thinking of the other side. So what do I mean by the other side? I mean this, like where it's coming around like that, because we have to make sure, because the contour has to make sense in the sense that it's not bleeding through, right? Because if I suddenly made this very exaggerated, I have to think, would that show? Is that showing on the other side of this form now that I'm creating, right? If it's bleeding through, then I've created the wrong contour, right? So this is a great exercise for spatial reasoning. And I actually already passed this. Yeah, I already passed this in the assignment, but personally for me, as you can see, my goal isn't this, it's this, right? So, and then there's also, this is single contour, and then there is, what's the other one? I have it written down. No, that's contour manipulation, and then this is single contour. What the fuck is the other one? Is there not some? There's contour manipulation, and then there's there's contour manipulation, and then there's single contour. Is there a double contour? What the fuck? Am I missing something? I'm gonna have to go through the basics course again to make sure I'm not missing anything. But I think this is what single contour is, which is you take a box or cylinder, and then you just, so let's say this was a cylindrical shape originally. Well, now it's this pear shape thing. And you have to account for that as you draw. Ta-da! It's a bit off. Actually, is it? No, it isn't that. It isn't that off. It's off back here. And then you could just add some rendering, right? Because that's, another thing I'm focusing on. Ta-da! Right. I don't know, maybe. At the end of the day, I'm trying to do these lines from any angle. So you've probably noticed that I'm trying to render from any angle, whether it be this way or this way. So yeah, that's single contour. So you take that shape, or we can even have something as intense as this. And then something like that, something like that. You see? Now you might be wondering, what the fuck am I just looking at? Simple. Once you're decent enough at perspective, you can basically just connect the dots and do that. And do that. Alright, this is a more complicated single contour, I guess? Or maybe this is... No, wait. Is this contour manipulation? I don't... What is this called? I think this is contour manipulation, this is single contour. So I may not be wrong in that sense. So this is coming here, so ta-da. Obviously, I'm always trying to think of the perspective. My ability to zoom out has gotten a lot better, thanks to just me forcing myself to sit really back. That was a fucked up line. But yeah, you see, and then this is coming in like that. And like that. There you go. And that's a more, I guess, complicated shape, right? But we still have to include this line. But yeah, you see? It doesn't look too bad on the camera. It's already been half an hour. That's not bad. Hold up, this line's a bit inaccurate. It's okay. So what could I do? I could literally just render the top, right? Yeah, Antonio's right. It's just about mileage. You know, this stuff starts to make more sense. And honestly, thinking out loud while I explain this to you helps a lot. And it's honestly awesome that I get to even do this. I guess that was the difficult part. But I'm just gonna render just this side only. Does it make sense lighting wise? Most probably not. But does it look interesting? I think it looks okay. I try not to use language like interesting as much these days. And if you watch my videos, which you don't, you're probably aware of that. But I think new is a better cue because, okay, new is like, okay, I can do new. You know, I just have to think of something random that isn't the same. But when you put interesting, for me personally, I just put pressure on myself. Oh god, it has to be interesting. And that is scary. Okay, trying to think. What other types of manipulations are there? Well, I guess I could try some multiple rounding, right? I haven't done multiple rounding in a while. That's actually going to be pretty difficult. But what is multiple rounding? Multiple rounding is just this. You have a this right there, and then it goes in like this. Wee. Ta-da! That's multiple rounding, and the same thing. Ooh. Obviously, I'm doing the drawing under thing, but and then it's like, whoa, that one's like that, but then this one's like this, so we just go, whoa. Now let me actually break that down, so you're like, what the fuck? So basically, the way Antonio explains it, and the way I'm going to explain it, because I think that explanation makes sense, is, let's say you have a plane, right? Oh yeah, I tried explaining perspective to my girlfriend. She doesn't understand it whatsoever. And funny enough, now she wants to do artwod to get and like do some practice, right? She wants to give it a try to to be able to have these conversations about art with me, because I explain things in a very technical manner, and I talk about the perspective and the rendering and the forms and all that stuff, and I try to not dumb it down, but I try to keep it simple as well. But for her, it just doesn't make any sense. So, you know what? More people into art, the better. I honestly think every human being on the planet should learn art. That's just what I think. It is such a beautiful, beautiful thing. Such a beautiful skill. I'll get to showing off multiple rounding, but I did feel as if these edges were a bit too soft. I don't know what that means. I've just heard of the term soft edges. Is it applicable here? Maybe, maybe not, but it just looks as if these edges are a bit soft to me. Therefore, ta-da, I will say they are soft edges. I think that looks a bit better. Whatever. So basically, in a plane, let's just say you have these tiny little squares going here in perspective, right? This is gonna look a bit dirty, but multiple rounding, basically, if single rounding is just rounding at the edge of a plane, like it's going like this. Oh well, that's a fucking horrible example. If it's like this, right? And single rounding is just going, you're just following the contour, like that. Multiple rounding is now it's coming outwards, right? So this is coming outwards, and then you're just following this contour, this perspective again. So it's literally like that, and it's going around, right? This shows up in hard surface a lot. So again, same thing. This right here is coming like that. This is going around, and then this is going down here. But we're gonna see is something like this, right? Because you're not seeing this thing go all the way down here. Let me make a bigger example. I say as I make a fucking tiny ass square. Jesus Christ. So for this one, right? This is like this, right? Following that perspective, and then this is going this way like that, and then this is going this way like this, right? So it's like that. But what we're seeing is not that. What we're seeing is this, something like that, because we're not going to see the underside. We're not going to see the behind, and nor are we going to see this over here. What we're seeing is this gets connected, but then you got to connect these two, otherwise they're disjointed. There's a gap here, right? So yeah, and same thing here. I haven't done this in a very long time. I'm surprised I can still do it. That's the power of focusing on the fundamentals. It all sticks, and your brain does all the work, even when you don't realize it's doing all the work. Yeah, see? Ta-da! Does it make sense? To me, it does. I actually feel pretty happy with that. To the audience of 4, most likely not. Or, again, one thing I've really thought about when it comes to art, let me just take a little space and effect break and drink my water, but I love the sketchbooking course. Thank you, Antonio. You have set my soul free. Look at that, bro. I never burped like that before when my soul wasn't free. All locked up in shit, gaseous, nauseous, but one thing I'm really trying to keep in mind is, even when I'm drawing, is that it's easy as you advance in your skills, even though I'm nowhere near advanced, but I'm obviously much more advanced than a beginner. And when I say beginner, I mean someone who has trouble putting down lines, right? I'm talking about someone where it takes them cognitive effort to do this. And not just to put down the line, but to put down a straight line, you know? Because that's who I was. This was my beginner, where doing this, and this was with, mind you, a normal fine liner, not even a brush pen, right? But where doing this was extremely cognitively intensive. And that's the keyword right there, is that these tasks are cognitively intensive. When I was drawing with my friend, my girlfriend, and his girlfriend, my girlfriend, my friend's his girlfriend and my girlfriend, i.e., we're all just friends, but you know, I guess for the sake of quantifying it via relationships. When I was drawing with them, my girlfriend said one thing which really, and maybe I talked about this before, but she said one thing that really put into perspective for me. It made me realize how far I'd come and how I've sort of almost forgotten what it's like to be a true beginner, which is she was drawing something relatively simple, right? Like she was just drawing something chibi-esque, right? And it was really nice, it was cute, I liked it a lot. And I'm like, do more. And she said this one thing, she's like, no, bro. She's like, no, bro, my brain hurts, right? She's like, this is really hard, you know, like it's taking a lot of effort. And I was like, oh shit, it did used to take a lot of effort. Holy fuck. This doesn't make any sense. Maybe this also needs to be in shadow. And maybe this I can just... Sure, whatever. But whatever. But yeah, the point is, that's what I consider to be a beginner, and it's important to realize how far one has come, because I can't do this. I could not do this shit. You have to know that just getting to the point where I can make lines like these with this specific brush pen has taken me over a year. I started October 2023. It is now January 24th, 2025, right? And even then, my lines aren't perfect, as you can see. There's not that clean, but that is why art is extremely difficult. That's why. Okay, what else can I draw? I'm pretty sure I had a point to make, but I forgot it. Let's do more contour manipulations, right? They're pretty fun. Let's do something like... That's kind of off, but it's whatever. Like a key, right? What am I doing? I'm trying to think of that. The perspective. But I'm fucking it up. And it's not even. This is actually a really good perspective exercise. I'm just gonna keep doing this. My Lord and Savior Antonio has mentioned, he specifically requested that I have fun. Oh god, I spat on the page. And obviously my sweaty ass hands are causing smudging, but so I'm just thinking about the perspective. This is actually a pretty simple perspective, so can't really fuck this up. Okay, but I want to get this down, so let's see. Let's visualize it. If I have a key, let's make this the ellipse, right? If I want to center it, would it not be like this? Well, if this is the center, yeah, wouldn't it be like that? And then oh god, my fucking hand is rubbing up against the edge of this thing. I fucked it up a little bit, but it's okay. Oh, that's what I'm missing too. Okay. I think that's okay. But again, I fucked up the line. So, I mean, this is basically just a magnifying glass, no? So what? We can have something like isn't this just a magnifying glass? I could literally just do something like this. There you go. This is, it's all right. It's not the most amazing magnifying glass. There you go. Ta-da! Let's try drawing a shoe. Oh god, am I getting the frame? I don't think so. I hope not. Everything is pretty centered. Actually, instead of a shoe, why don't I try drawing... I don't know what comes to mind. Let's just literally draw my pen cap. That's a fun little shape. Let's do it from a different angle though. That way I'm forced to think about the shape. It goes like that. It comes around. Well, tapers. So I gotta make sure this tapers as well. There you go. And then we have something like this is kind of like that. That's there, so I'm trying to think about the perspective. Let's go. And there you have it, a really, really, really shitty pen cap. The thing is, this is literally part of the next lesson, so maybe I'm getting ahead of myself because the next assignment, part of it is to draw household items. So maybe I'll just do this. But to be honest, all things considered, even if this looks really wonky, it's not that bad. But it's not that good either. Yeah, this is the pen cap. I'm sure you guys can see on camera, right? I tried doing this angle. Actually, that's okay. So it's much narrower than I expected. This actually has a line, which I couldn't really see from here. But it's all right. Right? For an attempt. Okay. More shapes, I guess. We'll draw more shapes and see where that comes from. So let's do more difficult angles. Let's do something like this. Maybe I'll just draw some boxes. I haven't drawn plain old boxes in a while. Right, maybe I'll just draw some boxes. Plus this angle, as you can see, is really affecting my lines, which is good. That means I have to focus. And I am in discomfort, which is a sign. That's it, it's just a sign. You're gonna have to figure out what sign it is. Showing a lot of intersections. Maybe I should do a cutout here. Yeah, let's just add a random ellipse for shits. Really bad ellipse, but an ellipse nonetheless. Yeah, this is really difficult. Woohoo! Difficulty. Okay, and then I can do something like this. go. And why don't I just turn this to a fucking locker or some shit? This angle is so difficult for my hand. Ah! I wonder if I have to submit this. I wouldn't want to submit this. But hey. Let's just add some rendering lines, right? God, this is taking me back to the beginner days where all I did was fucking draw boxes. Literally all I did was draw boxes, bro. Here we go, let's add some line weight. Yes, line weight, because I know what line weight is. Whee! Cool. Let's add some more weight to that, I guess. Actually, the lines do fade on the sketchbook. Maybe that's what it is. They turn quite... Yeah, they kind of just go to the background. There you go. Let me just add more visual interest. Yes, visual interest. I'm sure I'm murmuring right now, so you guys don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. But it's okay. Nobody really needs to know what I'm saying. I don't even know what I'm saying. It's when I do this, when I talk like this, that I know what I'm saying. Clearly nobody else does. But it's all good. I mean, but it's all good. I fucking as I do it again. There you go. Cool. Let's just make it fucking extremely unnecessary and just add rendering lines everywhere. Now nobody knows what the fuck is going on here. I don't even know what's going on here. Cool. And we'll leave this part not blank. This is also getting rendered. There you go. Now that's just... I mean, that's just something. Oh, what the fuck? It's already been 53 minutes? I guess I can just practice doing ellipses. Right? Antonio said simple shapes you draw. So simple shapes I must. But I can always make them three-dimensional, right? Jesus. And we can even add some interesting lines. Also insinuating the contours. Although I kind of brushed this, so it's obviously not amazing. And again, this angle is so hard to draw from, but it's good. Actually, funny enough, I like training myself to draw from these really retarded angles. Let's do this. The brush pen is infinite skill level. As in, it takes infinite amount of time to get used to it. Oh, that's not bad. I can do a little like this. fuck, I fucked that line up, but it's okay. Yeah. You know, the sketchbooking is definitely gonna get. I can feel it making me feel more positive when it comes to just drawing in general. Not that I didn't before, but you guys know, or you don't, because nobody was watching. Same joke over. But I obviously tend to, just for, because I speak in a very abrasive manner, so when I fuck something up, I'm like, oh god, it's so shit, blah blah blah. I don't mean it, but when you keep reinforcing something, even when you don't mean it, it's kind of the mind ends up believing it, right? Paradoxically enough. So let's draw a little fucker in the same perspective as this. Yeah, same thing I just did. I'm pretty sure Drawbox actually has a course like this. Didn't understand it then. Now it's just much more digestible. You know, this isn't a bad practice to just get like general shapes down for, what's it called, bugs. You know, there's bugs that have this sort of texturing and plating or whatever. It's not bad. This video is probably going to go on longer than an hour because I want to fill all of this up. I don't want to leave it unturned. So there you go. And mesh wire, right? Really helps build the perspective. I just wanted to draw something like this. Don't mind me. This has nothing to do with anything. Just felt like doing it. And then let's just put an ellipse here. And let's put an ellipse here. And let's put an ellipse right around here. God, man, this shit's so much easier now. It's crazy. See, I can even put an ellipse in this perspective, which is the same as this one, roughly, actually. Not that much. But drawing this used to be so difficult. I should appreciate how far I've come. I mean, my record is about 8 meters, but still. You can always do better. You can always come further. I'm going to render these because I haven't done that yet. That line was super thick. Okay. Oh, so now I struggle with not only line work in this perspective, but the line quality as well. Look at that, damn, that's so bad. But this is clearly more of a strength. That's another thing people don't understand. Literally drawing a line in any direction is also a skill. This right here, for me, if we were to just do a mini example of what I just did, right? Clearly, like when I hold my pen this direction from this angle and press from this way, it's so much more difficult than when I do it from this way and this specific position right here in this angle. Many people don't think about how it's all a skill. That's what I've realized. Beginner artists, too caught up in trying to achieve everything, but not taking the time to just stick to the basics. And that's why I made this channel, to show you how if you want to progress like objectively, like a beginner. I wish honestly it would have been nice to start this channel when I was beginning 2 years ago, November 1st, 2022, right? Then you guys would have seen that my lines were literally like that, you know? And you would have seen how difficult, like how my perspective was like this. For months, for months, just slowly getting better, right? Oh, now this is converging properly, this side, but this still isn't, right? I'm as beginner as it gets when it comes to in my ability as well. Okay, it's been an exact hour. I'm going to turn this upside down because there is a fucking limit to how I can draw. Like, what is this shit? Like, this is not an angle that I think anybody should draw from. This just doesn't look comfortable. You know what? Fuck it. Why don't we just practice lines like this then? Now that I said that, that's a challenge to myself. So let's do it. Ooh, that's not bad. Yo, that's pretty good, actually. The fuck? That I struggle a lot more. I mean, obviously they're still very shaky, but and the line weight needs work. But let's try drawing an ellipse like this. What the fuck? How am I doing this? Oh, kind of fucked up the perspective there. But I'm very impressed that I even have the ability to do this right now. But I'm fucking up I fucked this left side up completely. Okay. Yeah, let's just end it off with some line practice. Why don't we? Yeah, see this angle right here? Clearly I'm subject to making very thick lines in general. Not just from this angle, but yeah, you see? So let's really focus on trying to make them as thin as possible. See, it's all about focus. You see, the second I lost my focus, it got thick and I got fucked up again. But in the beginning, it was a bit thinner. But I have hundreds, okay, not hundreds, maybe about a total of 50 pages just practicing my lines like that. That's what it takes to even do something decent like this. You know what I mean? But now the page doesn't look aesthetic, blah, 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 because obviously I don't have an eye for composition or whatever. But hey, I really enjoyed this. I really just I had fun. If Antonio's goal for me was to have fun, I fucking had fun. Thank you, brother. I had lots of fun. And I still practiced, which is my biggest thing, right? I'm still practicing. It may look like I'm not doing much, but really what I did in the sketchbook was create some random design that looks kind of cool, I guess. Create like a building thing, practice rendering, right? Reinforced my lines, reinforced my knowledge of organic shapes. Like I found out what I can do and what's also still pretty difficult, right? Reinforced my knowledge of contour manipulation over here. Reinforced my knowledge of multiple rounding, which was very difficult, but now it's like I'm vibing. I'm hashtag chilling. So, you know, again, some more contours, created some magnifying glass, practiced an instance of spatial reasoning, and then practiced some more contours. And, you know, when it comes to ellipses, create some clusters, right? Like overall, everything I did was still intentional and still derived from a mentality of growth, practice, and learning. Nothing I did here was so brain dead, you know. Maybe this was a lot easier and I was kind of just chilling there, but I'm always doing my best to focus, which is what matters, right? Even with these lines, I'm really trying to focus. I think my sweaty ass hands, yeah, they're definitely fucking these lines up. Okay. You see? This is the trial and error that my friends want me to edit out. They want me to edit out this because none of you can hold your attention spans. And none of you have the patience to witness growth. I understand completely. None of you want to see me grow. You want to see me be at the tail end. You want to see the excellence, right? But the growth will serve as an understanding for all you beginners and for those who will probably be more advanced, as you know, a reminder for the advanced artist for how much work they've put in, and inspiration and information for beginners as to how much work is put in. You know, how much work should you actually put in, right? And let it be known, I do not put in as much work as other artists, by the way. Like this hour that you see, this is an hour that other artists much better than I and much more studious than I and with much more time than I and much smarter than I, and this hour is multiplied 2, 3, 4, 5 times more. You know, so I just want to show you that if I can achieve something like this, which isn't incredible, but in a span of 2 years, I actually think I made pretty decent progress, then you can achieve much more, right? I have a very busy schedule. And I'm sure your schedules are as busy as mine, right? I have work, gym, art, piano, eating, sleeping. Actually, I don't do much. The fuck? I guess I could always do more, but it seems like for the time being, I can really only fit all of this in. Not bad. But there's another artist called Can I Learn How to Draw? And he first did Drawbox, and now it's because of his video. Check it out. He's very skilled, and he practices a lot of figure mannequins and just drawing people in general, right? He's been practicing for 4 years, so he's 2 years along more on his journey than I am, and his skill is also very impressive. And I'm pretty sure much older, probably in his mid-30s, late 30s, maybe early 40s, right? Because he has a wife, 2 kids, and he made a video as least recently as of the recording of this video. I think it was a couple weeks at this point, which says I think it was like, how much time do I have to draw or some shit, like how do I find time to draw? And he basically just said it's not about the time, it's the intent and the work you put in and the habit you build of just like, what are you doing? Are you scrolling on your phone or are you fucking drawing, you know? And he made a good point, and I've kind of made it a little habit. Just I have this let's pull it out, this doodle book right here. Can you even see that it says doodle book? Yeah, you can, right? And that's my classic emoji. Again, like I've been doing this way before I came up as in way before the profile pic of my channel, right? Like I've been doing this forever. This is like something I've been doing since I was fucking 5. But I have some interesting drawings here, right? Like this again. Okay, so you see, Sunday, July 30th, 2023. A rough sketch of a dragon that I drew from reference. Also from reference, you see my perspective back then versus now, right? Like you can see how much work I put in. This is like some random thing I drew in the morning. It took around 30 minutes. Again, August 27th, 2023. So already a year into practicing. And I saw this on Pinterest. Obviously, Pinterest reference was much better. Tried drawing a car while we were in the car. Fucking difficult. Tried drawing from life. I was in pain, right? My friend Ahmed. Yeah, it's a callback to Ahmed the terrorist. He drew me. I drew him. He drew me. Right? Like this shit's hard. But the point is, I've been starting to use this and just use it as a means to just practice when I'm on the shitter, to be honest, for the time being, because I don't really have. There's no other point in my day where there's a few minutes where I'm just doing absolutely nothing. There probably is, but for what I feel is right now, the shitting time is the best time to doodle. But the point he was making is just make it a habit. And yeah, he really only practices the fundamentals as well. And that's actually what I was saying is it's actually because of him that I learned about Tom Fox's Domestica course, the how to draw people or some shit, right? Drawing people from imagination. So thank you to him, because I literally would have never known, and I wouldn't have fucking got that $2 discount or $2 deal, because I got it for $2, 96% off or some shit. And it was ending in 2 hours, funny enough. So without seeing that video and then looking into it, just at the right time, that shit would have been $25 and I wouldn't have spent. Or I would have spent, but then I'd be like, God damn it, I just spent $25 on a fucking course. You know, I know I'm supposed to be all serious about art, but money's money, bro, and I don't want fucking money. That's why I'm always begging for money. Don't you understand? It's not a joke. Give me your fucking money. Okay, let's try these lines, because I'm really struggling with these. But yeah, guys, art takes a lot of work. And my girlfriend, again, reminding me that when you're starting, it's so much mental effort to do it. Right? My mental effort, I still use the same amount of mental effort, obviously, but it's put towards much more complicated things in art, right? Same with the artists that I look up to. They still use a lot of mental effort, but when they're trying to improve, they still use a lot of mental effort. Some artists become advanced and they kind of just stay advanced, right? They don't really push themselves, because a lot of artists who become advanced end up teaching and selling courses. And while that is really good for reinforcing skills, and like what I'm doing right now, like teaching, I guess, or explaining in my sense, but okay, I guess I can teach that I'm really focusing on the pen pressure. Lol, that's kind of self-explanatory. But for the artists who always try to continue to strive to improve no matter what level they're at, from what my understanding is that they still use the same amount of cognitive effort they used in the beginning. It's like weightlifting, right? The weight doesn't ever get lighter when you're lifting heavy. Simply your threshold to lift more increases due to the muscle mass that you gain and the endurance you gain, right? Same shit. My ability to think, or my ability, like, I don't end up just thinking less and being able to do more. I still have to think very hard to create those to strengthen those synapses, create the synapses, strengthen them, and then cause neuroplasticity, right? And grow and learn things and actually keep learning. To keep learning, I have to keep thinking really, really hard. It's just what I think hard for changes, right? Like, I'm thinking for these lines, but I'm not thinking super hard. But I'm still concentrating, as you can see, because I'm fucking it up here and there. But yeah, I would say this was a solid little first sesh. Thank you, Antonio. I don't know if this is what he intended for the first part of this, because there's a shit ton. There's a bunch of modules. What is it? There's lessons. Is it modules? I think there's, the main thing is modules, and then inside them there are lessons. So this lesson was literally just, and the assignment for this lesson was just get familiar with your tool, which is what I'm doing. Objectively, that is what I was doing. I was really trying to make sure my lines were decent while I was drawing and like just focusing on rendering, as you can see. So I think that's mission accomplished. I had a lot of fun. I think that's, okay, mic is still on. I think that's definitely like success if we were to measure it by some sort of success. But, and I guess on camera, it looks interesting enough, right? I guess. Doesn't really matter. Not fucking really. But yeah, I'm satisfied. And I lost my train of thought, but it doesn't matter. And on that note, keep drawing and please give me money. Yay!